experience the full power of the dark side. Good!
We will deal with your rebel friends soon enough.
What the?
Lisa back! Prepare to fire! Oh no!
Hello and welcome back to Star Wars Beyond the Stars for episode number 62, recorded on Wednesday, March 9th, 2016. I'm your host, Fred, aka Sith Lord Corv. And rejoining me tonight is the commander of Sith Intelligence, Agent Louis Olan.
Hello, Fred. Good to hear your voice again. Hello, everyone. Twitch, Hitbox, and YouTube. Good to see you again. And as always, it's time for tea with Sith Intelligence, or now with the Alliance.
Thank the droid overlord you're back, Lou. A lot's changed while you've been gone. You may have noticed that Mori has eaten your bedroom door.
Oh.
And he's also had ID-10T inside of his body, but last week, Pelé dug him out.
That just conjures way too many disturbing images right now.
A harpoon and a shuttle, let's just say.
Borrowed from the SWTOR Escape podcast. They never like it when we borrow their things. And also
you return them.
And also here, the captain of the ship, Paige, a.k.a. Captain Kimbre.
Greetings from the captain's chair.
And now the Mori's finally out of it. Off of it.
Stay out of my chair.
And also here is our resident janitor, Pelé.
Greetings, everybody. I'm fresh back from the GGC.
And I see you brought Shriek with you.
Yep.
Yes, somebody had to keep her on a leash. Couldn't let her roam the ship by herself.
And speaking of on a leash, Moricu of Tatooine is here as well. Our resident space bomb.
Yeah, I finally woke up from that ridiculous amount of, I think, tranquilizers or something that you guys shot into me a couple of weeks ago. That's why I ate the door, because I was really hungry. But I am very thankful that that robot is now no longer part of me, and I can have regular bowel movements once again.
Droid. We didn't coin the phrase droid to call them robots.
It's just a robot.
Oh, you just gave George Lucas an aneurysm.
It was called a robot in the Christmas special.
Lou, I'm sure you've watched the Christmas special.
Yes, I admit to it. I will admit to it. I'm not going to deny it. I've watched it.
Did that happen in the Christmas special?
You know what? I'll leave it for everyone to find out for themselves.
Oh my no!
Oh, Lord.
My no.
I watched it when it was broadcast live. I have
Yes.
blocked that memory from my mind.
So it's like, I can't, there's no mental bleach out there that can ever erase that from my mind.
I will never see Jefferson Starship the same way again.
Now tell me though, Pelé, when that was first being broadcast before you actually saw it, you were actually excited to see it, weren't you?
Well, you were thinking this was going to be good. You just didn't realize how soon George Lucas could dash your hopes.
The tiny little Millennium Falcon wasn't a dead giveaway. The cockpit.
It
Yeah.
hardened my heart for the days when Jar Jar Binks came along.
He gets a bad rap.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Jar Jar Binks wasn't as bad as the Christmas special.
Oh.
Well, that's
I
kind of
would-
like
I would-
picking the lesser of two evils.
I would definitely
So-
have Jar Jar over Itchy, the porn-watching grandpa.
I don't know.
Stain.
I think I'd prefer Itchy to actually be in episode 1 over Jar Jar. Think about how much more entertaining that would be. Instead of tripping over stuff and causing a bunch of ruckus, that dude would just be sneaking off everywhere to watch other people's TV with the paid channels. Every character in the whole movie could have just been checking their bills and been
Of course,
like,
he could just log onto the the galactic web and look at Star Hub.
that doesn't exist in Star Wars.
It's on the Christmas special. That's what it was. That's the
That
channel
was
to
what
choose.
was on TV.
Yeah, Star Hub. Red
Uh,
Red Star Red.
All right. Okay.
I don't
We're
know.
available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and SWTORnetwork.com. You can like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/StarWarsBeyond Podcast. You can tweet us. The show is at StarWarsBeyond. And we usually record the show Wednesday nights at some point at hitbox.tv/StarWarsBeyond.
Thursday morning.
And Paige, what's coming up in the Captain's Log tonight as far as we know?
Well, when I opened up the captain's log, I realized I hadn't been here in a while, so it just says TBD. But I do know that Agent Olan, when he presents his intelligence report, will be Dark Jedi Part 2, because I did keep track of that. What up?
TBD. That must be some kind of food source that Mori wrote down.
To
No.
be determined. I wrote that down.
It's a virus that you get by doing... Never mind.
Just there is no food source. Everything is just a food source.
Lou, what's
Trandoshan back disease.
Yeah. Scaly back. Scaly back.
Is that
I've
like
definitely
psoriasis,
have that.
but
Yeah.
in Star Wars?
Yes.
Transdoshan butt deficiencies.
But as always, we do have a few things to mention. And we're going to start off tonight with the recently completed producer live stream, which happened today, March 9th, 2016, a couple hours ago. And they actually have a recap on the forums. I want to take a look. And right here we have, let's see. Hey, folks. Thank you to everyone who turned into the live stream this afternoon. Here's a recap of what we talked about. All right, and we'll just go down each of the bullet points here. And the first thing they bring up was community topics. All right. First one to mention was the Eternal Championship. And as we all know, they have decided to delay the Eternal Championship.
Again.
Right? Again. Yes, again. All right. Chapter 11 launched, okay, the other day, Tuesday. Yesterday was early access for those who were subbed. All right, you had a chance to download it and start it. And today, well, tomorrow's a full launch. Okay, we know that there are a few pretty nasty bugs present with the launch. And they will be doing a patch tomorrow on Thursday to correct some of them, with more changes likely incoming next week, and they're projecting as of now, probably on regular patch day on Tuesday. And they did put out a great nod for the community content. They did a quick shout out to all the you great content makers out there, whether it's a blog, the podcast, YouTubers, streamers, and more. All right, they didn't mention a few by name, but in general, Eric Musco did say, hey, he wanted to give a nod to everyone out there. Okay, it was no intention to slide anyone out, but he did mention a couple names, but he wants to know, Bio appreciates everyone who's actively participating, who's doing stuff related to SWTOR and promoting it and making it known out there on the web.
Oh, I think that applies to us.
So does Musco listen to us?
No, of course not.
Oh.
If he did, he'd know how much trash I talk about him and how he can't keep his butt in his seat. Maybe he'd sit down.
If he listened to us, his announcement would have been like, and we'd like to thank everybody that's out there doing anything, except for those guys from Beyond the Stars, because F those guys.
Well, they did say he does listen to everything, and
Right.
they do try to pass it on to the devs, but the devs themselves are also listening to stuff, reading the forums and things like that. So,
I don't buy it.
That's why
well, it's
the
at
game
least
doesn't
it's
work, 'cause
it's
they're
a
too
nice-
entertained by us.
it's a nice nod. At least they're acknowledging that they have an existing community of a fan base who does support them.
It's a nice
And-
lie to tell.
Yeah.
You know what you know how I see this is like when you call into a company and you have to sit on hold and they're like, your call is important to us, but you know it's really not. Like, that's how I feel about
Well,
that.
Yeah, I mean, if they acknowledge other groups, if this is a one-time thing, then yeah, it's going to feel like that. But if every dev live stream, maybe they highlight somebody, like they highlighted a YouTuber this time, at least mention and kind of spread the love, then that would be a good step forward.
Right. Then it actually that lends, actual credit to what they're saying. So it's, yes, we are aware of the community, and this is why, because we're mentioning everyone we can out there. When they have opportunities, they'll just mention people. So at least they're doing that, and that's a good step forward with promoting better relations between themselves and the rest of the player base.
I think they just subscribe to MMORPG, because I think a couple of weeks ago they gave a shout out to all the podcasts and other things to do with SWOTOR and some other stuff, and we were on there, but maybe they just kind of caught that.
No, that was Massively OP. Massively OP actually put together a nice
Oh,
article.
that's it, yeah.
They listed all of the podcasts and blogs and everything revolving around SWOTOR, and we were
Yep.
on that list.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Of course, they thought that the SWOTOR Escape podcast was the new Overlords podcast. So, Max and Seema may be getting some
I mean,
fan
they don't
mail
need to get facts
Exactly. All right, and then we move on to Chapter 11, titled Disavowed. Okay, Chapter 11 is live, well, as of tomorrow for everyone else, Thursday. But early access again, you had access to it on Tuesday. Venture deep into enemy territory and change the course of the war on the Eternal Throne. And as always, well, let's see, a Disavowed Cartel Market Pack also went live. And as a suggestion, head over to Delphi's, because she also, she always has the previews of the pack, so head over there if you want to see what's out there. If you want to take a chance, buy a pack, Hypercrate, or just wait your turn on the GTN and get it that way.
Hey, well, hang on before you move on from this, because we had a little bit of a talk about this last cartel pack last week.
Right.
So, do you have any further updates? Did you get any more Hypercrates, any more packs, get anything out of there?
I decided to say, what the hell, I'll get a Hypercrate, and in my first pack, I got an Unstable Arbiter's lightsaber. Ah! It's like, okay, screw with me, right? And it's
I
like,
saw that tweet earlier.
and it's currently going for like 57 million
Was
on Jedi Covenant.
Was it
So I'm
in
like,
the pack, or was it one of those cubes?
no, it was in the pack. I actually tweeted a screenshot of it, and did not get any really much interesting. Got most of the color crystals. Got the Nexu mount, but for the rest of it, it was, again, like 30 some odd Grand Chance cubes and not a whole lot of other stuff. And then the Grand Chance cubes really didn't have a whole much. I mean, there's a few odds and ends that I was collecting, like decorations, things like that, but nothing really exciting. Thing I was really hoping to kind of get was the Vectron Vertica, the little disc.
Yes, the
mount.
disc mount. Yeah, where you're
Yeah.
standing on it, and you're pretty much standing still, but it moves. Yeah, that actually looks pretty
Right.
cool.
Yeah, that looked like a fun mount. So, but I didn't see that.
Oh wait, so this last Hypercrate was out of the new pack that just came out.
Right, the disallowed. Or disavowed. Sorry. Yeah, disallowed.
That was the last one where none of those lightsabers were dropping.
The Anarchist pack? Yeah.
I'd gotten one, like out of 7 or 8 Hypercrates that I, either paid cartel coins for or bought off the GTN, and got one dual saber one. So, out of, I guess say 8 or 9 Hypercrates, I have gotten 2 sabers, one dual, one single. That's just insane. I hate to be someone who paid real money for that whole smear because, I'm looking at close to 300 packs and have only seen the saber once each.
Right,
That's
but then, I mean, those odds are kind of terrible. But then again, just to play devil's advocate, everyone's just going to say, "Hey, well, you know what you're doing. It's a gamble. It's essentially this is a gamble.
Right.
All this thing is. Let's call it for what it is, folks. It's a gamble.
Dice roll.
Right. I mean, I understand RNG, but like I said in the last show was, to me, if it's a gold item, it should have the same chance as every other gold item.
Right.
And it feels like some gold items really have a very tiny chance, whereas others have a much higher chance. And I'd rather they just say, okay, here's your standard gold rarity items, and then we're going to have a few that are like platinum rarity or whatever, electrum or, unobtainium rarity. Probably be appropriate, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, I see where you're going with that, and I think that's an idea they should shift to. It's like, look, if I have gold packs, whatever, that loot table assigned to that, the odds should be higher, and most likely bend it toward the player's favor, because you know what, they have that item.
Right.
Give it
I
to
mean,
them.
at least set expectations accordingly.
Right.
When I get 20 gold items and 10 of them are the same, I don't feel like the gold rarity is accurate or fair, because unless I'm just having a really bad streak, which is possible, but still, it just kind of drives me nuts. I mean, if it was just like, okay, this is 1 in 1,000, okay, then I'm not even going to bother trying for it. I'm just going to buy the packs, maybe look for some of the other items I might want, and just view it as like, okay, I'm going to use the Grand Chance cubes to fill in some stuff from older packs I can't get that I might want, like a mount or color crystal or something. So,
Right.
See, my problem with the latest packs is that you would open the pack and you get tons of the guns and stuff, and the lightsabers were so rare. In my opinion, all of the weapons should have an equal chance of dropping. Whether you're a force user or you're a blaster user, you should have an equal chance of getting a weapon your character can use. And I thought it was complete crap that the weapons were labeled the same rarity as the lightsabers, and you're never seeing them drop. And I opened 6 hyper crates of the last pack, and by the time I got to the 6th one, I was like, okay, this is my last one no matter what. Never saw a single lightsaber drop. I literally got every other thing that was available in that last pack, including the droid companion.
Yeah, and I never got the wheel mount off of that, so there was another thing I was missing.
And I got 2 of those.
Yeah.
But I never saw a single lightsaber.
What would you think about, like, say, the super rare stuff? The day it launches, just being available for like a ridiculous amount of money. It's like just available for that day, but it still has a chance of dropping in the crates.
What I would like to see them do you remember? I don't know if you remember this, Mori, but Lou, you sure remember. Remember when they tried with the hyper crates for a little while, where you got that little silver pack inside of every hyper crate? I would like to see them switch to a system where when you buy a hyper crate, you get to pick one of any gold item available in that hyper crate.
Right.
And it's bound to your account as soon as you pick it.
And that make it worth it for a lot of folks, because there are, I know there are probably a lot of players who, maybe I'm wrong, but they feel like me. There are certain things I want from every pack, and I'm willing to lay out that kind of money, to invest that kind of money for those items, which isn't a problem. But then again, the way the system is set up, you pretty much have, again, knowing full well that you have to go in there and it is a gamble, that you're going to get what you're going to get. RNG is the overall determining factor.
Well, I understand that too, but at the same time, this is a video game, and the RNG shouldn't be so skewed that you need to spend almost $1,000 real life money to get something out of one of those hyper crates.
Or like,
right, but then again, this is one of their main avenues of revenue now. Are the crates and the packs.
But see, like what just happened with me, since I opened 6 hyper crates, and didn't get a single one of the items I was looking for, that means it's probably going to be over a year before I buy another hypercrate from them. So they just cut off a source of revenue because they're so stingy with the drop rates.
Or do like they used to and assign a rep to it where you build up enough rep and, you know, for example, you can go get Darth Nihilus's mask if you want that, if you have the rep and the cartel certificates. You know, that seemed to always be a reasonable thing that, okay, if I don't get what this item that I most likely wanted out of it, if I buy enough crates and get my rep up, I can turn in the certificates and pick it up off the vendor. You know, at least that was an option.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still have like 4 cartel market reps I haven't started anywhere, and because I never bought any of their crates.
Well, see, like, I understand where you're coming from, Lou, where, you know, this is a main source of revenue for them. But, see, that's why it's important that they put desirable items in every cartel pack. Instead of put one in there that everybody really wants, make it super rare, because what that's going to do, people are going to spend a lot of money in the short term, but then when the next pack comes out, they're not going to buy it because they just got burnt.
Right. And I think that's a risk that they're willing to take. Because obviously we don't have access to metrics, nor should we, but odds are it's probably in their favor that, yeah, they will probably alienate a good portion of their player base with in regards to them buying packs, but I believe there are enough people out there, okay, not necessarily a whale, but they do have enough players investing a substantial amount of their money to where it still is, you know, very profitable and to do it this way. All right, and unless there's a really big stink raised by the player base, you know, for weeks, months at a time, and then I don't think we'll see any radical changes come to the way the cartel pack odds are arranged.
I mean, that's what kind of, like I said about with my idea, is that on the initial day, you know, all the people who really want, like, that lightsaber or that blaster can go in, pay 3 times what they would pay for a crate or something like that, buy it, and then the rest of the people who would buy the crates anyway are still paying regular price.
Right.
And,
or
you know,
you know,
you're not paying $1,000 or
right,
whatever,
or just,
you know, for...
Just put it directly on the cartel market for us to buy.
Yeah.
People are going to do it. You just triple the price, you know, for a while,
or
and
sell the
people will get it.
Or like they do, sell the fresh hyper crate at a discount and sell the valuable items for full price of a hyper crate. You know, it's like you're paying more, or you can gamble and may not get it, but at least you're paying. Yeah. You know, you're not paying.
Right. You're going to in the end, you're going to get what you want, or you're willingly going in there, risking the odds of the hyper crate or regular crates.
And for RNG, and when there are so many items in there, like, I can understand people want to collect it all, but the stuff that people really want, I think they should just be able to purchase. Even if it is for a limited time, and then the rest of the month, they've got to, you know, you've got to take your chance.
Right.
But I think people should have access to it because, you know, people having the stuff that they want keeps people playing the game.
And on that point, like, after I opened 6 hyper crates and never got the lightsaber of either variety that I wanted, I didn't play the game for a week because I felt like I just got ripped off.
Yeah.
The other thing they could do too is if you buy it off the cartel market directly, it binds to that character. So that way, it still gives you incentive to do the hyper crate because it would unlock in collection. So if you really wanted it on the character, you can get it, but it's only on that character.
I like the idea of it being bind to legacy. That way, you can buy it directly, but you can't sell it.
Right.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think if you were paying, say, like an exorbitant amount for the item you actually wanted, I think it should be available for all your characters without having to go in there and unlock it again. But you definitely shouldn't be able to trade it, you know, because then people who are ridiculously rich just go and buy 30 of them or whatever.
Yeah,
and then, you know, although why you would, but
yeah.
Or I mean, if it's something like those lightsabers, put an alternate version on the cartel market that you can buy outright.
Yeah,
change the hilt a little bit. But I just think that was a cheap money play that they did there.
Right. Or, for example, the saber is put the one with the cross hilt in the cartel packs, but put the non-cross hilt on the cartel market, but both have the same effects.
Mhm.
That would be a perfect way of changing it up right there. You know, if people just want the cool effect, they'll buy the one off the cartel market, guaranteed. But if you want the cross hilt, you gotta play the RNG game.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, these are all suggestions that hopefully that someone will be listening to and maybe incorporate it into future packs.
Yeah. Well, and less Grand Chance cubes.
Right. Yeah. Never
Grand
mind about
chance
that.
cubes need to go.
Less scrap. I'm fed up with
Right.
scrap. Stop
Well, you
giving
can
me robot parts. But still,
you could-
I don't want them.
Well, it's crap you can trade in for stuff, so
I don't
that's
want
at
it.
least you will.
Yeah, that's stupid too. Get rid of those two.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't mind seeing a Grand Chance cube as, let's say, 60% chance to get it when you open up a regular pack. But I want the new pack to have new stuff in it. I don't want 2 Grand Chance cubes getting old stuff.
Right.
kinda
No,
like-
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then they talked about the Odessa Proving Grounds and Rishi Arena. Right? These are new PvP zones they're talking about. Both will be set to launch on April 5th. And they did want to say thank you to everyone who tested and provided their feedback in making Odessa a great war zone. If you were following people on Twitter or maybe on Twitch, but on Twitter, you would see quite a few folks saying, yeah, they actually liked what they saw.
It was
They did a
fun.
Good job. Yeah, it was fun, and the devs actually took to heart the feedback they were receiving from the players who took the time to test it, and they did make some changes, which was good.
I know. I was surprised because I put in some feedback, and other people may have done the same thing, but they did some of the things I suggested. So, and and obviously they listened to the PvPers, which was cool.
Mhm.
It was a much better war zone and arena the second time around after they put the change in it. It's not perfect, and I hope there are more changes coming, but it's a lot better than when it started off.
Right.
I heard that they really took feedback to heart if the person bought a lot of hyper crates recently.
I mean, I'm still stuck on the fact that there's PvP in this game. When did that happen?
Just starting April 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what would be a great idea if they gave say somebody who's been outstanding in PvP, like a special award or title. MVP title, yeah. What do you think about that page?
Well, we'll have to ask Snape since he's the PvP master.
Right.
That's Mori. Mori's MVP.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, when I watched the live stream, hopefully, the fact that they are putting out these 2 new maps. All right, it's going to lead the way for additional maps to come out sooner rather than later. All right, because even though I don't PvP much in the game, I support all facets of the game. All right, if one part of the community suffers, everyone's going to suffer in the end. All right, because you're losing players, you're losing interest. Okay, and that's one part of the community that need love. Okay, they need to have why they play the game too. Because they want to drive the faction war, they want to play in their characters, they want to raffle stomp other players. That's cool. Let them do it. And from this point forward, you have these 2 new maps coming out. Keep going. All right. Other episodes I've talked about, you already have resources maps in the game. I mean, my God, the Odessa Proving Ground what is it? It's the actual landing dock. Okay, the main area of Odessa on your base. So come on. All right, you're taking existing resources and using them to your advantage. Again, other places in the game that you can completely haul and turn into great PvP maps. All right, don't reinvent the wheel. Just take what you've got. Make it happen. And revitalize. Put some life back in that community, to where they're going to be out there and help. Grow the game. All right, and then the next thing they want to talk about coming up, quality of life improvements. That will be coming out with Chapter 12 in April. And one of the things they did mention was a stronghold limit and decoration limit changes. All right, I believe for the decoration limit, I think the common one will be 999 now. That will be allowed.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Stronghold limit, I think it's going to be, 5?
Yeah, you'll be able to have all of them active now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Guild improvements. All right. Including a raised cap of membership to 1,000 members. And I believe they're also adjusting the guild interface as well to where you can have certain features enabled to where it's easier for you to search players and such within the guild UI.
You'll be able to see legacy name, and I think you can multi-select people. So if you need to purge a group that hadn't played in the year, you can sort by date, select them all, and boot them in one go.
But I don't want anybody to find me. Know what I've been doing. I'm off the grid, guys.
They've also mentioned that they are going to update the naming policy, which will allow spaces now in names. All right, so now you can have those gaps in your names to where you can actually have a real quote-unquote name for your character.
Though funnily, people are asking, can I have Darth or Jedi as my in my name? So Jedi space character name. And I'm like, you already have that as a title.
Right.
Not unless you're one of those Insta-60s. Then you don't have anything.
Yeah, that is
true.
Yeah. Well, that's something they should fix anyway. Because, since we have done everything our character has done, okay, they should give us that. But, again, that's for another day.
I hope they give when that comes in, I hope they give everybody a free rename if they want it, because that was actually the thing that kind of bugged me when I first made my character. Is that I couldn't have my regular name with surname, and then just give myself a crappy legacy title as well. That needs changing.
Why didn't you just make your legacy name Moriku?
Well, Moriku, he was alright. It was my Jedi that I couldn't give his surname to.
Give me Moriku.
No, that's not a legacy. His surname's Elmbow, and there's no bows in Star Wars, so I couldn't use that. And I know Elmbow sounds like elbow, and it really annoys me. But
Actually, there's the bowcaster. So
bowcaster for Wookiees.
Yeah, there's one bow that I know of.
I'm already part Hutt. I don't need to be a Wookiee as well.
It's all that hair on your back.
You know what I want to be though? It's I know you're talking about people who need and love, but I think the people who love Sky Troopers, I think they need some love in the game. Maybe they could get rid of a PvP map and just have you fighting a load of Sky Troopers for 7 hours.
Well,
and call it Chapter 15.
You know how they're doing that special promotion if you're subscribed all the way through the end of this? The very last chapter, that month's reward for being a subscriber is going to be a Sky Trooper companion.
I hope so. I hope there's going to be a skin for HK55.
And it could be more.
That would be cool.
Mori the Sky Trooper.
Yeah.
Sky Trooper.
M0R1.
Right. Okay, and they also brought in the fact that there are going to be updates to the maps, okay, for the actual zones, PvE and PvP instant types. Okay, if I remember correctly, what's going to happen is that they are going to change the way the servers are arranged. Okay, they're going with the traditional, PvE, PvP, RP type server stratification, and they're just going to have it to where you can float to where, yes, if you want to do just PvE, all right, you're going to have to actually go into that instance. So you have to set the instance. So yes, I only want to go into PvE instances of these maps. All right, or if you want to PvP, same process. Okay.
I really predict this is going to be broken, and you're going to be playing in the middle of the night and go into a zone, and the PvP zone's going to have people in it, so it's going to automatically zone you in there and flag you.
Well, again, that is one of the risks that was brought up, and also the fact that I think one of the limitations is as well is if your friend is flagged or if they're on a PvP map, you can't, you won't be able to group up together because obviously you're going to be two different instances of the map.
Well, on the PTS, there was I went to Nar Shaddaa and there was no one on the planet, at least on the Republic side. There were two instances. PvP1 and PvE1. So I think every planet will have two instances always running at the same time.
Right. Obviously, yeah, that makes sense. That way, you just automatically pick, all right, I'll just go to PvE1 because that's the only zone that's there now because there aren't enough players to generate a second or third instance of the map like before.
Yeah. Now, you can't, if you choose to PvP, you have an instance cooldown like you do now if you change instances. So you can't go over to PvP, gank somebody, and immediately hop back to PvE. You're stuck there for a while.
Right. Which is good, and vice versa.
Yes.
You know, which is good. I hope they fix that, and hopefully what Fred says, may not happen, but things being as they are, it could happen. Okay, where there are going to be instances to where, hey, PvE player accidentally zones the PvP, or vice versa, PvP player goes in the PvE zone, and things happen.
I mean, all I can say is people on Harbinger start paying for your transfers now.
Well,
Wow.
also,
Just move.
the thing people have brought up is if you're on PvE instance and you go into Outlaw's Den, you're not flagged for free-for-all, and neither are you on the Western Ice Shelf of Ilum, the PvP zone for the Gree event. So they're going to have to take a look at that situation.
No, because if you want to do those PvP events, you could zone into the PvP instance.
True. But, it's, people are used to a certain type of behavior, so they're going to have to make a decision if they want it to stand as it is or if they still want to kind of grandfather those two areas in at this time.
I would kind of like to see it stand just because people have always figured out unique ways to force other people to get flagged in those areas.
Well, if you go into Outlaw's Den, it warns you, and it tells you you're flagged for free-for-all in the same way with the Ilum area. You are warned. You don't just wander in and get flagged by accident.
In all likelihood, they'll end up changing them back because there's loot chests and stuff in the Outlaws Den.
Right, or just remove say, if you want them, got to go PvP.
Right.
Which would be fine with me.
And then they also mentioned that they are going to have, well, obviously, as I mentioned before, updated Server Select UI and upcoming social window improvements. Better sorting and better ways of using the slash commands. For example, who and so on. They are saying that they are going to introduce big improvements that will make it easier and make it much more friendlier for players to use those commands as well. Okay. And then now we move on to the Eternal Championship. Again, as we all know, it's been delayed again. All right, they are going to announce the new launch date on the next producer live stream. All right, it will be on the PTS, and it's planned to be there for the end of March. So around the time frame, if you haven't done so, and if you want to check it out, download the PTS. Okay, which is basically a full reinstall of the game itself. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Make sure you leave that run overnight.
Right, and make sure you have the hard drive space because, you're basically installing just another copy of the game onto your hard drive.
Yeah, in this case, they had branched it off before 4.2, so it forced you to have a full version. Hopefully, going ahead in the future, they'll just be up to date, and the tester will be a smaller update.
Mm-hmm. All right, and they also have a blog planned for the same time to go over that as well. Okay, and they did give us a sneak peek of the upcoming chapter. That's next, chapter 12, which is titled Visions in the Dark. And some things they did mention was new information leads to a potentially deadly mission for the Alliance. Valkorion, the Eternal Emperor, has brutal plans for the Outlander. Yes, we know that already from chapter 1. Special return appearance from some fan favorite characters. Now,
Mark.
Yeah, I'm just like that. That's a very broad statement because everyone's different. So calling it fan favorite characters, okay, yeah.
Everybody's fan favorites, Lou. Brunmark, Skadge.
Are you hurt?
Andronicus Revel.
Torian.
Malavi Quinn.
Yeah.
No!
I want Shara back. I need to get married again.
And they introduced a new potential recruit. Akgal Usar recruit mission. All right, this is another Dashad that you will be bringing in.
My cell calf.
Right. So they did tease that to us. All right. Again, if you want to see it, it's on their archive version of the live stream. Okay. Take a look at it.
Okay, so hang on. They're adding another Dashad. Conspiracy theory. Do you think Kim Vol's not coming back?
That's the conspiracy theory because he can either be Kimball or he can be Vosh. So,
right.
Does he look different?
No.
I mean, come on,
not that I know it.
whatever. Akgal Usar. Someone made the comment, he looks like one of the customizations for Kim Ball. So
Laziness.
currently, so we'll see. But it's kind of disappointing. I would rather have a Kim Ball. And
I want another Inquisitor companion back. Let's get some other ones in, shake it up a bit.
well, there's a number of them that are reportedly not coming back in the first 16 chapters.
You already got the best one back. Are you okay?
You okay?
Ugh.
Are you hurt? Are you hurt?
I'm hurt.
Okay, so
I hate that guy.
Well, I don't know. I think, I can do this all day is far worse. I just wanna...
yeah, but play.
The Captain America of SWTOR?
Pelé, you weren't there for that flashpoint that we ran with Talos when I first got him back, and
Oh my God.
he literally stood there getting pelted by blaster bolts and going, "I'm hurt," while we're all hiding behind a pillar. Like, come on, Talos!
We were trying to line of sight this stuff, and he's just like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this. I'm hurt."
Now, to be fair, this is when they stealth nerfed the healing companions. They didn't tell anybody.
Right.
So he was getting his ass beat, and we're like, "What is Talos sucks? Look at this!"
Didn't he commit suicide? Didn't he jump off a platform or something?
No, that was when me and you were doing a Star Fortress. Senya jumped down, didn't she?
No, that's when we got Talos to run over there, and all three of us popped out and did our knockbacks to knock everybody over the edge.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We were in Katanimu. It was terrible. I'm hurt. And then at the very end, oh my gosh, we lived. Thanks to no help from you.
I didn't live. I died a lot. He's a terrible leader. I hate that guy so much.
That's all you kept saying every poll. I hate Talos so much.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a suggestion when they do the PvE, PvP instances. We ought to do a leveling group in the PvP zone, like on Jedi Covenant as a group. That would be fun.
That would be interesting to see.
That's fine. I'm the MVP. I can carry all.
Alright, let's see what we got here then. Alright. Nico no longer able for crew missions. There does seem to be an issue with Nico as a companion for crew skills, etc. We are looking into it. Of course, you can't send him out on missions. He's lazy.
He's a cowboy. Like, why is he going to do anything apart from rustle up varmints?
Oh, this next one's all you, Mori. Go ahead and read that.
No, that one's all me. You don't remember the video where Captain Kimbray found Corso without his pants on, and he asked her to marry him?
No, this one sounds more like Mori's cup of tea.
I don't even know where we are.
Naked
God.
Eric Jorgen.
Who's Eric Jorgen?
Oh my God! It's not even him. Let me do it.
Jorgen.
Who's
Eric.
checking?
Eric Jorgen.
Things was breaking up.
Go ahead, Paige.
Oh, me? Okay.
Oh, there we are.
As a potential workaround, when you enter the cutscene, if you see naked Jorgen, try resetting the mission. In some cases, this will address his lack of clothing and the vantage point bug mentioned in the other thread.
Now, I had that happen to me. You have to leave the instance, and it restarts the entire mission from the beginning. So,
Just
Wait, why would you restart it just because the dude was naked?
Wow.
because
like-
if he's naked, it's going to bug out later on, and you can't proceed. So you might as
Oh,
well.
see, that's more of a bug than the fact that he's naked.
yeah, that's the actual problem, not the
I mean, like,
he's naked.
You know, I fly all over space with you guys naked, and you guys never complain.
Wait a minute, hold on. Maintenance. The legacy version of Calig's lightsaber is a new item with a new ID, so existing sabers will not be changed. Did they change the lightsaber you get from that Inquisitor quest? It's actually a
Yes.
legacy item now?
Yes.
Did
But
they-
you have to go through it with a new.
Oh, you're kidding me. They didn't mail one to the people that already did it?
Nope. But
Ah.
problem was, it wasn't. You weren't able to get it. It wasn't giving you the saber, and you're still not getting Calig's helm, even though you can go buy one that looks like it. But if you're an RPer who wants the name,
They should have given you an orange Calig's helm, too.
right? But this at least gives you. You can get that curved hilt saber this way and pass it around.
I like that, though. It should have been a legacy item from the start if they existed when the game launched.
Right.
Alright, this one's a long one. You can take over again, Will.
Okay, this is from Eric Musco on the Dev Tracker, coming from the 4th of March. Earlier on, okay? And this is again regarding the Internal Championship. And Eric writes, "Hey folks, we have been doing a lot of internal playtesting on the Internal Championship, and it is currently not at a level that we believe our players deserve. In keeping with our commitment to offer the highest quality experience possible with our latest expansion, we have decided to delay the launch of the Eternal Championship. We are focusing on overall balance, ensuring each boss fight is challenging, endeavoring to exceed quality expectations, and most of all, making sure it is a fun experience. Please note, Bodar will also be delayed, but we'll continue to launch alongside the Eternal Championship. To help ensure we deliver on the deeper experience we promised, we have decided to make the Eternal Championship available on our public test server, PTS, prior to releasing it. That would be smart. We are eager to make this feature as high quality as possible and would love to get your feedback as we work to strengthen it. Once we nail down the release schedule, we will let you know how to get access on PTS. I will provide more information as I have it. Our goal is to have more information in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Thank you." From
Okay, this is stupid. They clearly shouldn't have. They should not have spoiled the Eternal Championship coming soon in the next patch, and then delaying it by like 6 months. Like it's called the Eternal Champion. It's called the Eternal Championship. Yeah, like 6 months. It's called the Eternal Championship because it's going to take them an eternity to finish it.
Ugh.
And on another thing, there's no way that Musco wrote that much stuff. Like, he had a proxy and write it for him.
Well, I think Musco typed a couple sentences here and Lou added.
I think he can just about spell PTS.
I think Lou typed in what it actually stood for us.
Yeah. But no, this is stupid. Like, they should never have spoiled that the Eternal Championship was coming. They obviously knew it wasn't ready, and it wasn't going to be ready. Like, idiots.
I think they just started working on it after the first delay. Alright, then. Another thing about the Eternal Championship. Good question. You will recruit a companion as part of the chapter, but with Bodar moving out there will not be a new Alliance alert with Chapter 9.
11.
11.
Oh, whoops. Wrong side of the X. Okay. So there won't be a new Alliance alert with Chapter 11.
Oh, good. So I can still grind for my junk to get my little Jawa.
Because they couldn't just, give us...
They can't just proxy somebody in. Yeah. Like Talos' brother, Dralos Drek.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and move into the Star Wars recommendation of the week. Paige.
I really like this one. This is from a website called F Jackets, but the company is called Film Jackets. So it ain't like, F Jackets, man, let's just go naked. I just
Right, F that jacket.
Yeah, it's like Film Jackets, and, I put this on there, captain's jacket, all that. This is a replica of, they call it Finn's jacket, but originally, of course, it belonged to Poe. I'm sorry?
Sorry, I'm stepping on your toes.
Yeah, this was my segment, so
I know.
shut up.
Sorry.
We do know, though, that it did originally belong to Poe Dameron, and maybe Finn borrowed it without asking for a little while, but then he did allow him to keep it. This is a really nice jacket, actually. This is real leather, and, it has some, moisture-absorbing properties to it, all these, cuffs and this nice collar and everything on it, and it does come in the correct color, and there's, a picture of it, the picture of the replica beside a picture of John. Is it Boyega? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Yep, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
It's a picture of him wearing it as well. Not the replica, but wearing, his own jacket. And it looks very, very nice. So that is my recommendation of the week. FJackets.com.
Order now.
It's not that expensive because leather jackets are pretty pricey to begin with. And then here you're getting a beautiful replica of real leather, so...
They also have the Han Solo jacket available down there.
Okay, one recommendation per week.
It's one recommendation.
Wait, can I make a recommendation that they fix the Eternal Championship?
Or how about they finish it before they worry about fixing it?
Yeah.
And that takes us in to the intelligence report.
All right, and as promised, we are going to finish Dark Jedi. This is part 2, The Face of Darkness. And last time I said we'd pick it up when the Clone Wars started, and here we go. After the apparent death of Darth Maul, Darth Sidious apprenticed Darth Tyrannus, who in turn apprenticed several Dark Jedi, including Asajj Ventress and Sora Bulk. He also supposedly had under his wing the Jedi turned Dark Jedi, Quinlan Vos. 27 months after the Battle of Geonosis, the Befashed Dark Jedi crisis occurred. A group of Befashed Dark Jedi were responsible for a rampage of terror and destruction throughout the Vash system, and indeed the entire Sleaze sector. Okay? As a Jedi Clone War, everything went wrong for Dooku. Ventress, after faking her own death, fled to an unknown location. Sora Bulk was killed by Quinlan after the latter had turned a task force led by Yoda, who was sent to stop them and quell the uprising. Near the end of the back to the light during the siege of Selakwami. Another Dark Jedi named Tol Skor was also killed by Quinlan during the battle. A few weeks after the siege, Dooku himself was killed by Anakin Skywalker on board General Grievous' flagship, the Invisible Hand. Soon after, Skywalker became Darth Vader. Shocker, I know. Palpatine's newest apprentice, and the Sith ruled the galaxy once more. This would lead to the employment of many more Dark Jedi. And now we move on to the era of the Galactic Empire. Or, in the words of the reborn Emperor Palpatine, to Second Nist and Tejan Shah, I have watched you. You have advanced in submission to my will. I will make you Dark Jedi, extensions of my own power. And during the span of the Galactic Empire, Palpatine established a number of organizations composed of Dark Jedi, including the Inquisitorius, the Emperor's Hands, and his personal dark side elite. Many Agri-Corps Padawans were captured by Vader after the execution of Order 66. The younglings that Vader did not kill, which were very few, were trained in the ways of the dark side by several dark side adepts, including Vader himself. After Vader's death, Palpatine would not risk living with another apprentice after losing 3, and so the dark side elite became the right hand of Lord Sidious during Operation Shadowhand. Palpatine also trained several Emperor's Hands, special assassins that did his bidding. Famous ones included Darth Vader's daughter-in-law, Mara Jade Skywalker, and Shira Bree, who would later become Lumia, Vader's apprentice. Mara was later redeemed by her future husband, Luke Skywalker, and became a Jedi Master. And now we move on to the post-Palpatine era. Okay, and this is a discussion between AT-88, who's an IG-type assassin droid, and Kyle Katarn, discussing Dark Jedi Jarek. He's a Dark Jedi. Jedi? Dark Jedi. Okay? To get some background on this, folks, if you've ever played the Dark Forces games, or you're introduced to Kyle Katarn's character, and you're also introduced to the character of Dark Jedi Jarek. So, after the Battle of Endor, Dark Jedi sporadically appeared throughout the years. One group of Dark Jedi rallied under Jarek in an effort to locate and siphon the power of the Valley of the Jedi. This faction, often known as the Seven Dark Jedi, was defeated by Kyle Katarn. In the Empire Reborn campaign, Lord Hethrir, Desan, and Admiral Gallic Fire created an unusual hybrid Dark Jedi and Stormtroopers by giving them Cortosis Weave armor and crystals from Artus Prime. These soldiers were called the Shadow Troopers. They were black armor. Pretty cool. Jedi in training Kyle Katarn and his partner, Jan Ors, put a stop to the project and defeated 2 of the 3 heads. In 14 years after the Battle of Yavin, Master Katarn and his new apprentices, Jaden Kor and Rosh Pennon, came to the New Republic's rescue as Desan's former apprentice, Tavian Aximus, discovered the Scepter of Ragnos and created a new Sith cult called the Disciples of Ragnos. The cult consisted of cultists and Desan's old reborn warriors, and was also allied to the Imperial Remnant. The Disciples and Tavi were defeated by Kor and Katarn, and Rosh was redeemed after joining. Okay, that all happens in the game Jedi Academy. A young Jedi named Dolph trained under the New Jedi Order for less than a year before returning home and finding his parents' dead bodies impaled before the governmental palace, having been slain by the Jahar government. He became the Dark Jedi Cooler and used his powers to bring down the Jahar regime. He then orchestrated the Almanian uprising, only to be thwarted by Jedi Master Luke Skywalker and his sister Leia Organa Solo. Many Dark Jedi would later become part of the Second Imperium. Led by a former Jedi named Brachus, the Second Imperium assaulted Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy at Yavin 4. Brachus was eventually defeated by Skywalker, then killed when a Royal Guardsman triggered an explosive device after nearly being killed by him, thus destroying the Second Imperium. Okay, and now just a couple quick names to mention. Arik Ismarin was built into the cyborg Dark Jedi Lord Nyax. Lord Nyax was eventually defeated by Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade Skywalker, and Tahira Vela. That's in the EU books. Okay, if you want to take a look at that, folks, by all means, take a look. It's not a bad story at all. And then during the Yuuzhan Vang War and the Darkness Crisis, scarcely any Dark Jedi remained. The only apparent Dark Jedi during these crises were Night Sister Lomi Plo and Shadow Academy student Welk. Both were killed by Luke Skywalker during the Darkness Crisis. However, both were secretly members of the One Sith. Also, a former Jedi named Alima Rar became a Dark Jedi during the Darkness Crisis, but was supposedly killed during one of its final battles. Alima was later proven alive but grievously wounded, only to die later by the hands of Jagged Fel. Despite all these tragic deaths and defeats, the Dark Lady Lumia eventually resurfaced as a Sith, but was eventually killed by Luke Skywalker, who believed that she had murdered his wife, Mara. And this concludes part 2 of the Dark Jedi. Again, this was a quick summary into the other facet of the Jedi. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I wish to say thank you to the Wikipedia, StarWars.com, TheForce.net, and all the other Star Wars lore sites that are out there. Folks, if you enjoy the history and the lore of the Star Wars universe as much as I do, please visit these sites, look up your topics, and enjoy.
I want to say something really quickly. I know this is stupid, and it's probably only going to be funny to me, but when you're talking about Dolph coming home and finding his parents' bodies impaled before the governmental palace, blah, 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 all I could think of in that moment was Olaf from Frozen walking into that icicle and going, "Oh, look at that, I've been impaled."
Yeah.
Like, that's just, like, I could just imagine someone being like, "Oh, look at that, they've been impaled."
Do you want to build a Sith Lord? Oh, we can, Darth Vader.
Boom!
And that takes us into our community holo feed.
And our bi-weekly trivia question. Each week we're going to post a trivia question into the audio and YouTube video version of the show. The question will run for 2 weeks. There will be a total of 5 clues. We're trying something new, so these will be available on both the audio and YouTube versions of our show. Shoot us an email with your answer to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com. In the email, include character name, faction, and server. Again, please include your faction and server so we can find you. If there's more than one correct answer, we'll do a random drawing to win a cartel pack. Everyone that makes a serious attempt will be entered into a drawing for a much larger prize. Correct answers will get 2 entries into the drawing. You can be entered into the grand prize drawing every time you answer correctly.
That's right, and we're trying to get participation back up into this trivia question, so starting this week, all 5 clues are going to be available on the audio version of the show, too. So try your hand at it. If you guys participate more, we might keep all 5 clues in the audio version, too. Alright, Lou, we didn't have any successful winners from last question.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I give the answer for this one?
Yes, sir, because we're going to give all 5 clues now.
Alright, quick recap. Okay, from the last trivia question. Okay. This is for the last trivia question, folks, not for the current one, that's later on. Alright, the first clue I gave was, we were created to serve in the fires of war, to protect democracy and the ideals of the Republic. The second clue, our first trial, was deemed a mistake and a dismal failure by our creators. But a seasoned veteran saved the first of us. Third clue, we were divided into small operational groups, similar to a famous predator on our birth world. Fourth clue, covert operations were our specialty and the cause of our high mortality rate. And then the fifth clue, in the end, we were divided, some serving the darkness, others hiding in the shadows away from the galaxy. Alright, and the answer to that was, it was a Grand Army of the Republic Commando. Alright, these are the Republic Commandos, as well as the Advanced Recon Commandos, the ARCs. Okay, if you read the books commando books, okay, you'll see how they came into being. All right, these are different clone troopers. All right, the clone troopers that you see in the movies are all, well, they're generic. They're all from the same stock, same skill set. However, obviously different military skills, as with any military. But the commandos were a specifically created lot, separate from those clones, to where they were actually more muscular, had a little bit more freedom of thought, because they were going to be commandos, all right? Special Forces, SEALs, that type of soldier that they needed, okay? And in that, okay, a lot of the clone commandos, their trainers were Mandalorians. Okay, so whatever Mandalorians were left at that stage in the galaxy history, Jango Fett managed to get a lot of them to actually train the commandos in their, in their particular fighting styles. Okay. If you hear the name Cal Scarata, you'll probably see that in SWTOR every now and then. In the servers, they have players with their names on, especially the bounty hunters. Okay. Cal Scarata will be the one. He will save the very first of the clone commandos. These are the arcs, the null arcs, zero set arcs. Okay, these become essentially his sons. All right, the best and the brightest of the arcs, if they're a little bit unhinged mentally. Okay, and if you ever played the Public Commando games, all right, from LucasArts, this is where you hear names Fixer, Boss, Sev, and so on. All right. And they did a lot of high-risk missions, and in the end, remember, they weren't programmed with Order 66. Okay? So they actually had time to think about it, and some units followed the orders to the letter. Some, like the group you see in the actual novels by Karen Travis, they had no clue what was going on. They didn't see it as a just order, so they disobeyed. And actually fought to keep their Jedi alive from the others.
Yeah, that seems like a much better plan than what most of them did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the ones that tried to get Yoda when the issue was ordered. He knew they were coming.
Right. Well, the thing is, if you watch the Star Wars Rebels, okay, you got to remember those guys, the clone troopers you see there, okay, Max and Cody, okay, yeah, they're variants of the arcs, but okay, because they have well, I should say they're not arcs. Max and Cody aren't classified as arcs because they're not commandos. They're with the regular clone army. Okay, the commandos are always on their own. Like, you'll see them, but they're always there. They're always in support or doing their own operations behind enemy lines. Whereas Max and Cody are, they are where they are because they're exceptional clones with leadership skills and so on. Just so we have that straight.
All right. Well, that was a good question. And I look forward to seeing what you got picked out for us this week. Paige, what's going on in our SWTOR community?
You can check out our fellow SWTOR podcasts. Most of them are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at SWTORnetwork.com. I'm sick, so I sound like crap. I'm sorry. Corellian Run Radio is at CorellianRun.com. There's UntiniCast at UntiniCast.com. SWTOR Escape Podcast at NewOverlords.com. The Usual Podcast is at TheUsualPodcast.com. And we have some friends over on iTunes, Passionately Casual Podcast, and It's a Trap Podcast. The Bad Feeling Podcast is at BadFeelingPodcast.com. And be warned, because that's an explicit podcast. You can also follow Madmar at SWTOR Family for the latest happenings in the SWTOR community. And if you'd like to have your podcast listed on this segment, send us an email at StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com.
And Pele, we just had another GGC episode happen, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And I pity Brian for having to edit my audio. Because in the middle of it, my cat decided to flop down on the keyboard and somehow turned off my recording. So by the time I realized it, I put it back on, and I hope I didn't make too much of a mess for him.
Ouch.
So that's why it may be a bit delayed from us recording, but it was a very good episode. And we did get a chance to say goodbye to Old Republic Radio. Neptune was there, and
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically feeling the effects of no in-game content. No new ops or anything, so they're kind of shutting down for the moment. Hope beyond hope that we get new ops and people come back for them. But we'll see.
Gonna miss nothing. He did a great job bringing the Old Republic radio back from the dust.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
And it was, to their credit, they were realizing they were just getting way too salty and it wasn't fun. So, they're going out and letting everybody know. I think this next episode will be their last one.
Yeah. And now, one last time, I'm going to tell you can get a hold of us. You can find out more about our show at StarWarsBeyond.com. You can like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/StarWarsBeyondPodcast. You can send us an email to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com. You can tweet us. The show is at StarWarsBeyond. I am at Sith Lord Corv. Lou is at GamerGuy11B. Paige is at Asa Fiery. Play is at Wild Piper. Mori is at Moriq of Tamriel. And please remember to tweet him and use the hashtag #BlameMori. And now it's time for our final thoughts.
Oh, it's me again. I was here first. I never remember. Well, it's been good to be back with you guys. It's good to see Lou back, alive and well. We will definitely sort you out a new door, or we'll just get a new ship. I don't know.
We can barely afford this one.
We stole this one, Lou.
But I know, but it's not flying very well. I've been eating way too much. We need a bigger ship.
It has nothing to do with my piloting skills and everything to do with the difference in weight and resistance.
But your resistance is futile.
We'll just tie a rope to Mori and let him float out in space like Baymax.
So you're saying the ship needs an enema?
Basically, is Baymax.
Oh dear.
Lay, time for your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is I'm glad to see stuff on the PTS, the non-story content, so we can test it and try to make it better, less buggy. And here's hoping that Chapter 12 launches with no obvious bugs. Paige.
I want to say that I'm glad to be back, even though I'm so just polluted with the plague and all that jazz.
Breathe in Mori's direction.
Yes, give me your hate. I don't know, it sounds creepy.
It does sound so creepy.
Just a bit.
Embrace your hatred.
That's fine, we'll FaceTime later.
And as for me, I'm glad the new chapter is finally out. Well, at least I was fortunate to have early access. Okay. I did have some minor issues with it. Obviously, the obvious one being with the naked Arajorgan. Quite the shocker seeing that for the first time.
Working as intended.
Yes, and realizing, oh no, naked Cathar, no, not happening.
It is based on Musco.
Right. And here's the thing. I mean, the story, the writing, okay, the dialogue, great. I'm all for it. It was good. I enjoyed that part of it. However, the technical issues that came with this latest chapter, again, okay, I understand it's a work in progress. Things happen, but still, just a little bit more diligence on polishing up the content before releasing. Even though it's early access, come on. All right, this is not the time for us to be, testing it one more time for its release to the general public. Okay. Because that kind of started the experience. But then again, that was just it. The technical problems, that was it. Other than that, yeah, I enjoy playing, the chapter, and I'm looking forward to 12. So, let's hope.
And my final thought: I'm so glad to lose back because Mori acts better when he's here. Beyond the Stars is an independently recorded fan podcast made in association with NSG Productions at nsgproductions.com. And remember, folks, we also have a master feed now where you can hear everything that NSG produces. You can find that over at nsgproductions.com. And now it's time to say goodnight.
Is it me again?
It's you again.
Someone needs to sort these show notes out. Good night, everybody. Be safe, love each other, and may the naked cat people be with you.
This is the show that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend.
Good night, everybody. Keep it clean. Love your janitors.
Good night, everybody from the captain's chair. Don't love me, I'm allergic.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. See you all again next time.
And now the show ends.
You're not allergic, you're contagious.
I'm contagious to love? What does that even mean?
You know.
Quit speaking over my goodbye, fat man.
Goodbye!
You can't deliver a goodbye.
I'm not Musco.
I can't do it, I'm sick.
You've served your purpose.
Beyond the Stars bi-weekly trivia question asked on March 9th, 2016. First clue. The first of us was born out of darkness. A method not used by the light until 3,000 years later. Second clue. Our creators were an ancient race bent on conquest. So much so, they ruled the galaxy in its entirety for millennia. Third clue. Small, unassuming, part organic and part technological, often we could be held in one's hand. Fourth clue. Our interface was usually an image, which could actively participate with a viewer or listener. Fifth clue. Normally, only those attuned to the Force could use or access us. What am I? And folks, remember, all 5 clues will be featured in both versions of our show this time. Participation will dictate if that changes, so please try. You have nothing to lose, folks, everything to gain. Send an email to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com, and in your email include your answer, obviously, your character name, your faction, please, your faction, and the server you play on. Good luck, everyone. Looking forward to your answers.